May I conclude by calling upon our special guests, Protestant and Catholic Archbishops of Dublin, Drs. Michael Jackson and Dermot Martin, to read for us the testimony of St. Patrick in his own words.
Ego Patricius, peccator rustiциssimus, ex minimus omnium fidelium, ex contemptibilissimus, apud plurimus, patrem habuit.
My name is Patrick. I am a sinner, a simple country person, and the least of all believers. I am looked down upon by many. My father was Calpurnius. He was a deacon.
His father was Potitus, a priest,
who lived in Vanadam Saburniae. His home was near there, and that is where I was taken prisoner. I was about 16 at the time. At that time I did not know the true God. I was taken into captivity in Ireland, along with thousands of others. We deserved this because we had gone away from God and did not keep His commandments. We would not listen to our priests, who advised us about how we could be saved. The Lord brought His strong anger upon us and scattered us among the many nations, even to the ends of the earth.
It was among foreigners that it was seen how little I was. It was there that the Lord opened up my awareness of my lack of faith. Even though it came about late, I recognized my failings. So I turned with all my heart to the Lord my God. And He looked down on my lowliness and had mercy on my youthful ignorance. He guarded me before I knew Him, and before I came to wisdom and could distinguish between good and evil. He protected me and consoled me as a father does his son.
That is why I cannot be silent,
nor would it be good to do so,
about such great blessings and such a gift that the Lord so kindly bestowed in the land of my captivity. This is how we can repay such blessings, when our lives change and we come to know God, to praise and bear witness to His great wonders before every nation under heaven.
Although I am imperfect in many ways, I want my brothers and relations to know what I'm really like, so that they can see what it is that inspires my life.
This is why I have long thought to write,
but up to now I've hesitated,
because I feared what people would say. This is because I did not learn as others did, who drank in equally well both the law and the sacred writings, and never had to change their way of speaking since childhood, but always grew better and better at it. For me, however, my speech and words have been translated into a foreign language, as it can easily be seen from my writings, the standard of the instruction and learning I have had. As it is said,
the wise person is known through his speech, and also understanding and knowledge and the teaching of truth.
Ecclesiasticus 4:29.
So, I am first of all a simple country person, a refugee and unlearned. I do not know how to provide for the future. But this I know for certain, that before I was brought low, I was like a stone, lying deep in the mud. Then He who is powerful came, and in His mercy pulled me out,
and lifted me up,
and placed me on the very top of the wall. That is why I must shout aloud, in return to the Lord, for such great good deeds of His, here and now and forever, which the human mind cannot measure.
So be amazed, all you people, great and small, who fear God. You well-educated people in authority, listen and examine this carefully. Who was it who called one as foolish as I am from the middle of those who are seen to be wise and experienced in law and powerful in speech and everything? If I am most looked down upon, yet He inspired me
before others,
so that I would faithfully serve the nations with awe and reverence and without blame, the nations to whom the love of God brought me. His gift was that I would spend my life,
if I were worthy of it,
to serving them in truth and with humility to the end. in the knowledge of this faith in the Trinity, and without letting the dangers prevent it, it is right to make known the gift of God and His eternal consolation. It is right to spread abroad the name of God faithfully and without fear, so that even after my death I may leave something of value for the many thousands of my brothers and sisters, the children whom I baptized in the Lord.
I didn't deserve at all that the Lord would grant me such great grace, after hardships and troubles, after captivity, and after so many years among that people. It was something which,
when I was young,
I never hoped for or even thought of. After I arrived in Ireland, I tended sheep every day, and I prayed frequently during the day. More and more, the love of God increased, and my sense of awe before God. Faith grew, and my spirit was moved, so that in one day I would pray up to 100 times, and at night perhaps the same. I even remained in the woods and on the mountain, and I would rise to pray before dawn.
in snow
And ice
and rain.
I never felt the worse for it, and I never felt lazy. As I realize now, the Spirit was burning in me at that time. It was there one night in my sleep that I heard a voice saying to me,
You have fasted well. Very soon you will return to your native country.
Again, after a short while, I heard someone saying to me,
Look, your ship is ready.
it was not nearby, but a good 200 miles away. I had never been to the place, nor did I know anyone there. So I ran away then, and left the man with whom I'd been for 6 years. It was in the strength of God that I went, God who turned the direction of my life to good. I feared nothing while I was on the journey to that ship. The day I arrived, the ship was about to leave the place. I said I needed to set sail with them, but the captain was not at all pleased. He replied unpleasantly and angrily,
Don't you dare try to come with us.
When I heard that, I left them and went back to the hut where I had lodgings. I began to pray while I was going, and before I even finished the prayer, I heard one of them shout aloud at me,
Come quickly, those men are calling you.
I turned right back away, and they began to say to me,
Come, we'll trust you. Prove you're our friend in any way you wish.
That day, I refused to suck up to them because of my reverence for God. They were pagans, and I hoped they might come to faith in Jesus Christ. That is how I got to go with them, and we set sail right away.
After 3 days, we made it to land, and then for 28 days we travelled through a wilderness. Food ran out. A great hunger came over them. The captain turned to me and said,
What about this, Christian? You tell us that your God is great and all-powerful. Why can't you pray for us, since we're in a bad state with hunger? There's no sign of us finding a human being anywhere.
Then I said to them with some confidence,
Turn in faith with all your hearts to the Lord my God, because nothing is impossible for him, so that he may put food in your way, even enough to make you fully satisfied. He has an abundance everywhere.
With the help of God, this is actually what happened. A herd of pigs appeared in the way before our eyes. They killed many of them, and there they remained for 2 nights, and were fully restored and had their fill of the pig's meat. Many of them had grown weak and left half alive by the way. After this, they gave the greatest of thanks to God, and I was honoured in their eyes. From this day on, they had plenty of food. They also found some wild honey, and offered some of it to me. However, one of them said,
This honey has been offered in sacrifice.
Thanks be to God, from then on I tasted none of it. While we were still on the journey, the Lord provided food and fire and shelter every day, until we met some people on the 10th day. As I mentioned above, we travelled for 28 days through the wilderness. On the very night we met people, we ran out of food.
A few years later, I was again with my parents in Britain. They welcomed me as a son, and they pleaded with me that after all the many tribulations I had undergone, I should never leave them again. It was while I was there that I saw,
in a vision in the night,
a man whose name was Victoricus, coming as it were from Ireland with so many letters they could not be counted. He gave me one of these, and I read the beginning of the letter.
the voice of the Irish people.
While I was reading out the beginning of the letter, I thought I heard at that moment the voice of those who were beside the wood of Falkland near the Western Sea. They called out, as it were, with one voice,
We beg you, holy boy, to come and walk again among us.
This touched my heart deeply, and I could not read any further. I woke up then. Thanks be to God. After many years, the Lord granted them what they were calling for. I have said enough.
But I must take care not to hide the gift of God, which he has generously given us in the land of my captivity. It was then that I looked for him with all my strength, and there I found him, and he protected me from all evils. This is what I believe, on account of his Spirit living and working in me to this very day.
I'm proud to tell again of this.
God knows, if it were some other person who had said this to me, perhaps I would have said nothing, because of the love of Christ. So I never stopped giving thanks to my God, who kept me faithful in the time of my temptation. I can today with confidence offer my soul to Christ my Lord as a living sacrifice. He is the one who defended me in all my difficulties. I can say,
Who am I, Lord? Or what is my calling, that you have worked with me with such divine presence? This is how I come to praise and magnify your name among the nations all the time, wherever I am, not only in good times, but in the difficult times too.
whatever comes about for me, good or bad, I ought to accept them equally and give thanks to God. He has shown me that I can put my faith in him without wavering and without end. However ignorant I am, he has heard me, so that in these late days I can dare to undertake such a holy and wonderful work. In this way I can imitate
Somewhat.
those whom the Lord foretold would announce his gospel in witness to all nations before the end of the world. This is what we see has been fulfilled.
Look, we are witnesses that the gospel has been preached right out to the point beyond which there is no one. Ecce, teste sumus, quia evangelium praedicatum est, usque ubi nemo ultra.
Everyone, they're in here. Take the booklet, please, give it away, keep out the copies. If you want the Latin edition, it's out there. And all the website, everything else, www.confessio.ie. Thank you for coming.